What if everything you know about time is a lie? From the moment you were born, you were taught that time moves in one direction, second by second, minute by minute, a straight line from past to present to future. But what if that's not how time actually works? What if the flow of time is just a trick of perception, a veil hiding a much deeper, far stranger reality? Time, the one thing every empire has tried to master, and the one thing every human has felt slipping through their fingers. It rules our lives, our fears, our hopes, and yet we barely understand what it is. The deeper scientists dig, the more it seems that time isn't a river, it's a dimension. And if it's a dimension, then, like space, it can be bent, folded, or even broken. At the dawn of the 20th century, one man cracked open that mystery, Albert Einstein. He discovered something no one dared to imagine. Time is not absolute. It stretches, it shrinks, it warps, and it's inseparable from space itself. He called it space-time, a single cosmic fabric that holds everything, stars, planets, you, me, in its invisible grip. When something moves fast enough, time slows down for it. Clocks tick slower, the heart beats slower, even decay slows. To someone watching from outside, it's as if that person has stepped slightly out of time. And this isn't science fiction, it's proven. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station experience this effect. When they return to Earth, they are younger by milliseconds than the people who stayed behind. Tiny difference, but proof that time can be altered. If time can be stretched, then can it be folded? Can the past and future touch? In theory, yes. Einstein's equations allow for something called closed time-like curves. Imagine drawing a line from the present into the future, then bending it back until it touches the past. That loop would allow you to travel backward, not metaphorically, but literally. And yet, every time someone dares to test this theory, something strange happens. Data disappears. Experiments vanish from the record, as if history itself refuses to be rewritten. But humans have never stopped trying. The ancient Egyptians believed their gods could walk through time, those who travel the ages. The Mayans carved calendars that tracked events thousands of years into the future with terrifying precision. And in the deserts of India, ancient texts describe vimanas, flying crafts that could move through time as through space. Were these just myths? Or are they fragmented memories of civilizations that once understood time differently? Even religion hints at it. The Bible's book of Revelation doesn't speak of prophecy as prediction, but as observation. John didn't see the future. He was taken there. Every culture, every belief system, every empire has whispered the same forbidden secret. Time isn't a prison. It's a door. And modern science might have already found the key. Deep beneath the mountains of Switzerland lies CERN, the largest machine ever built by humankind. A 17-mile ring of magnets designed to smash particles together at nearly the speed of light. But some scientists have quietly warned, by colliding those particles, we may be bending the very structure of spacetime itself. For a brief instant, time could ripple, fold, or open. In 2011, something extraordinary happened at CERN. Neutrinos, tiny subatomic particles, appeared to be moving faster than light. If true, that would mean they were moving backward through time. The announcement shook the scientific world. But within weeks, the data was retracted. They called it a loose cable connection. Convenient, isn't it? Because if time travel were accidentally achieved, even for a billionth of a second, the implications would be terrifying. Reality itself would no longer be stable. Cause and effect would collapse, and humanity would be standing on the edge of a power it was never meant to hold. But what if that line has already been crossed? Some researchers believe time travel doesn't happen with machines, but with consciousness. They claim that the human mind is already connected to higher dimensions where time doesn't flow linearly. Dreams, déjà vu, intuition, all tiny leaks between moments. Ever had that feeling you've been somewhere before? Or known something before it happened? What if those aren't coincidences, but echoes of yourself from another point in time? Quantum physics even supports this possibility. In the subatomic world, particles can exist in multiple states, past and future, at once. They can interact with versions of themselves that technically don't exist yet. And when scientists observe them, the outcome changes retroactively. Observation, it seems, rewrites history. Now ask yourself, what happens when consciousness observes itself? When you look into your own mind, are you shaping your past, your future, or both? Philosophers and mystics have long hinted that time is not a line we walk, but a web we create. Each thought, each action, sends ripples across the tapestry. The future you think about today becomes the past you'll remember tomorrow. In other words, your imagination may already be traveling through time. And if thought can reach forward or backward, then maybe the real time machine is you. But the moment humanity proves this, something ancient will awaken, because those who rule the world have always known. He who controls time controls everything. Some doors, once opened, cannot be closed, but the records are always erased. As human curiosity grew, so did obsession. The pursuit of controlling time, once the domain of myth and legend, became a real, dangerous, and forbidden science. And some claim it succeeded. In the 1940s, the U.S. Navy allegedly undertook the infamous Philadelphia experiment. The objective was deceptively mundane: render a warship invisible to radar. But what occurred reportedly transcended physics itself. On October 28, 1943, the USS Eldridge allegedly disappeared from the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. Witnesses spoke of walls of writhing blue and green light, twisting around the hull like molten plasma. Some sailors vanished entirely. Others were fused into the steel itself, screaming in indescribable agony. Then, in a moment that defied comprehension, the ship reappeared miles away, leaving only chaos behind. Official military records deny everything. Yet decades later, declassified documents, witness accounts, and testimonies hint at an unsettling truth. We may have accidentally opened a gateway through time and paid a price we are not permitted to understand. The Cold War accelerated this obsession. In the 1960s and 70s, the U.S. government allegedly conducted Project Pegasus, a classified program exploring temporal travel. According to whistleblowers, human subjects were sent through quantum tunnels, observing both historical events and glimpses of the future. Some reportedly met figures from centuries past. Some reportedly glimpsed impossible futures, cities and technologies humanity had yet to invent. And the consequences of such experiments may be reflected in the Mandela effect, moments where collective memory clashes with recorded history. Consider simple examples. Was the children's book series Berenstain Bears actually Berenstein Bears? Did Nelson Mandela die in prison in the 1980s, or survive until 2013? Did the Monopoly Man have a monocle, or is that just in our memory? These discrepancies could be dismissed as coincidence, or they might be residual echoes of temporal tampering, subtle changes in the fabric of reality caused by interference from someone else moving through time. Modern physics, in fact, allows for such possibilities. Quantum mechanics tells us particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously, past, present, and future entangled in a single moment. Observation collapses possibilities into reality. If particles obey these rules, might human consciousness? Some scientists believe that consciousness itself is a bridge through time. Your mind may already reach into the future, feel echoes of the past, or even slightly influence both. There are even reports that individuals with extraordinary foresight, financial prodigies, gifted strategists, or historical figures who appear born to rule, may have been subconsciously interacting with alternate timelines. Consider the story of Andrew Carlson, arrested in 2003. He allegedly made 126 perfect stock trades in 2 weeks, turning $800 into $350 million. When questioned, he confessed to being a time traveler from the year 2256. Shortly after, all records of his arrest disappeared. He was never seen again. Coincidence? Or evidence that someone has mastered time and ensured no one else knows? Even the greatest scientific facilities have flirted with this forbidden domain. At CERN, the world's largest particle collider, Subatomic particles occasionally appear to move faster than light, suggesting time is not as rigid as we believe. Although officially dismissed as measurement error, some scientists privately warn that each experiment edges humanity closer to understanding and potentially controlling time itself. Imagine a world where history is not fixed. Wars could be rewritten, economic collapses avoided or orchestrated. Leaders who fall in one timeline might rise in another. And those with knowledge of temporal manipulation. They could live multiple lifetimes, perfecting strategies, accumulating power, and rewriting reality to suit their desires. Control history, and you control destiny. Control time, and you control everything. Time travel is more than movement through decades or centuries. It is the ultimate instrument of power. Empires once relied on armies and gold, but in the age of temporal science, even those pale in comparison. The paradox is simple: to master time is to reshape morality itself. Consider altering a single event in your past. Personal tragedy avoided. A decision that changes the trajectory of a city, a country, or the world. Small interventions can ripple outward, rewriting history in ways unimaginable. The grandfather paradox illustrates this dilemma. If you prevent your grandfather from meeting your grandmother, would you cease to exist? Or would a branching timeline allow both realities to coexist, separate, yet connected? Some physicists suggest every action spawns alternate realities, infinite branches of possibility. Every choice you make creates a new path. Every thought is a ripple across time. History hints at temporal advantage. Elites who rise with eerie precision, decisions that seem preordained, events aligning too perfectly. Some believe these patterns are evidence of temporal manipulation. Families who control banks, politics, media, could they be exploiting knowledge of alternate timelines to solidify their power? The evidence may even be subtle. Slightly altered photographs in history, people suddenly remembering events differently. Historical coincidences that seem improbably precise. Some theories suggest that the key isn't machines, but consciousness itself. Meditation, focus, isolation. Ancient techniques may have trained the mind to resonate with higher dimensions of time. Buddhist monks reportedly entered states where all moments are visible at once. Past, present, and future intertwined. The CIA explored this as remote viewing, attempting to train humans to perceive events across time and space. Those who can navigate these dimensions may live almost outside of time, gaining influence over events without detection. The ordinary human mind, a passenger in a storm of timelines, an observer but not yet a shaper. Time travel is not in machines. It is in the mind, the only gateway capable of bending reality. By now, the terrifying truth emerges. Machines, experiments, and colliders are only distractions. The true frontier is consciousness itself. Observation collapses possibilities into reality. Attention, focus, and awareness are instruments shaping the very timeline of existence. In essence, the mind is already a time machine. Ancients may have known this. Rituals, prayers, meditations, not magic, but practice in navigating higher temporal dimensions. Neuroscience now hints at why. The brain generates neural oscillations synchronized with time's passage. Under extreme conditions, consciousness may perceive multiple timelines simultaneously. This could explain prophetic dreams, precognition, and déjà vu moments when we see across time. Elite minds may have harnessed this fully. Those few capable of bending temporal perception could live, die, and relive events until outcomes align perfectly. History becomes a canvas. Wars, politics, empires, all manipulable. Some anomalies in our own era may hint at this. Individuals appearing to predict events with uncanny precision. Leaders and strategists who seem born to shape history. Small temporal echoes that ordinary humans experience as déjà vu or intuition. Power today is no longer about armies or money. It is about mastery of time itself. Those who achieve this become invisible architects of reality. The ultimate question: do we have free will? Or are we living versions of ourselves, manipulated by higher temporal consciousness? Each choice may resonate across infinite timelines. Each thought may shift reality. Time travel is no longer a story of machines or physics. It is the journey of the mind, the ultimate frontier, the most forbidden science. And those who master it do not merely exist, they shape reality itself. To explore more forbidden truths the world doesn't want you to see, subscribe to Empire Mindset, where history, mystery, and power collide. The timeline is yours to observe, and perhaps one day to shape.